Just look at what we created so far. From a blank space to a living, breathing actual board that has some kind of personality and weight to it. But we have this slight problem. It seems to only exist in Toon Boom, right? So let us take it out to Toon Boom. But before we do that, we're going to learn how to loop the cycle since we only animated for 24 seconds. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Toon Boom Basic Animation tutorial. We've been on a long journey and I'm so proud of what we've created so far. And as we discussed in the last video, we've been able to create this living bouncing animation, bounceable animation. So as we discussed in the last video, the animation is only running for 24 frames. As we can see here, we have the first frame on the counter here. If we scroll down, we see 24 frames, and after it there's nothing there. So let us try and extend the time that this animation stays on the screen. So what we are going to do is we are going to extend the exposure. We're going to extend the amount of time that this animation, this ball shows. So first we are going to do it with the ground. Make sure the ground is selected. Pick any of the frames, but make sure you extend this playhead just by clicking on this red icon here. Click and drag to whatever amount that you want. Let's say we want it at 80 frames. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this layer here on the ground, strike the F5 key, and it's going to ask me how long do I want the extension to be. I'm going to extend the frames, the amount of times I want the frames to be visible in here. So once I just click the number, let's say we want it 80, and I'm going to stay with overwrite. If I should move my playhead, you realize the ground now extends to the 80th frame. So let us do the same thing with the ball. I'm going to press the F5, then I'll enter my frames that I want the ball to extend. But here's a problem. We do have the extension on, but once again, to our last keyframe that we created, there's nothing happening here. So what we are going to do is we are just going to copy the keyframes that we created and paste them in the various sections. So as we can see on our last keyframe, the ball is up. And looking at taking it back, you realize the ball comes from the top, comes down, does a squash and stretch and goes back up. So meaning from this high position, the ball has to come down. So what we are going to do is we're going to copy the down pose where it starts getting into contact with the ground. So that will be the second keyframe from the first one. Just click on that, select, holding down your shift key and select the last frame. So Control Z to copy. So if you pay attention to where we created our keyframe, we created it on the first frame, and that next frame was on the 10th frame. So we're just going to do almost the same calculation. This frame is on the 24th frame, so meaning we're going to put in 10 more frames, which is going to be the 34th frame. So you can either move your playhead to the 34th frame, or as lazy as I am, type it right here and it moves there. And all I have to do is Control V to paste, and just like that we have our animation looped. So what if you want this done in the cycle and you don't want to keep repeating the pasting? What I suggest we do is we copy the frame that we need, and we know that these two frames, the first and the last frame, are almost the same, so we don't need to repeat it, because if we should copy this frame and paste it here to be the same frame repeating twice. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy it from the next frame after the keyframe. We're going to copy this, select the frame right after the last keyframe, right click, go to paste special, go to paste cycle, and it's going to ask you the amount of time that you want the animation to loop. I'm just going to enter, let's say 3. Okay, and once I play that, we have our cycle of animation, and it's just as simple. Right, so now we have this and it's still trapped in Toon Boom, so we need to take it out. But before you can export this, make sure you're always saving your work. So just Control S. So in order to be able to export this, you need a codec that is in QuickTime Player. So make sure you have your QuickTime Player installed, and all you need to do is go to File, Export, and select Movie. But first, to test out your animation, let us click on the Render and play. And it's going to render the frames that we animated, and it's going to show us a preview of what we did. And you might ask, we didn't use a black background, but why do we have a black background? So if Toon Boom finds nothing there, it's going to replace it with black. So in order to kind of correct that, let us just add a color card, something that shows white. So we just click on the plus icon and input a color card. And let's do the rendering again. It's going to ask us if we want the frames to render. Again, we just click on yes. And now this is what we have. And after this short time, we have a ball with some kind of personality, some weight, and it's not as robotic as we started initially. Alright, so to bring this video out, we just click on the file, go to export, then we click on movie. Then all you have to do is select the location that you want your movie to be on. So you just click on the browser and you select a location somewhere. I have it here, so I'm going to save it. I have it here, so all I need to do is change the name. So let us change the name to what project we're working on, and we're working on the bouncing ball. Alright, so save. So we're going to leave this as default. There's the best format that you can use for any other media. We leave this. We can actually tell the software the amount of frames that we need rendered. So here I'm going to click on all because I need everything on there 80. Or we can just input the figures. Since I have my last frame on the 79th, just going to input 79, and every other thing will be as default, and all we have to do is click on OK. Alright, and just like that we are done. So let us go into our file location. Alright, so let's play this. Just look at this, a perfect high resolution animation, which is no longer trapped in Toon Boom. So congratulations, you've officially completed an entire animation workflow from blank canvas to a final video and exporting the product. You're finally an animator. Congratulations again. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope this series benefited you and that's giving you some kind of confidence to use Toon Boom. If you made a bouncing ball animation, I would like to see it. You can tag me in the comments below. Now that you've mastered the basics, let me know what you want to learn next. Maybe a character design or more advanced animation. Just let me know in the comment section. And if this series helped you in any way, the best way to say thanks is just by hitting the like button and subscribing. Thank you again for joining and watching, and as always, happy animation.